It's all your parents' fault. Isn't that what we all want? A free pass, somebody to blame. And if you look at media and society today, nobody seems to want to take responsibility for their life. So I'm a huge fan of personal responsibility, but there is something in that statement. It's all your parents' fault. We'll dive into that. And by the end of this short episode, you will move from, oh, it is my parents' fault, but here's the reality. This is how I can change it. And oh, I am the captain of my ship and the main person in charge of realizing my own dreams. So if we look at everything in our life, there is so much that is stacked against us wanting to build the life of our dreams. And I have been committed to putting out Money Boss Secrets and sharing with you the different information I learned all the hard way, building my media companies and learning to go from broke to wealthy. So the one thing that people don't realize is there is truth in the statement. It is your parents' fault that you are the way you are. Here's the science behind it. Our brain works with conscious thought. That's a part of us that thinks and dreams. And then we have subconscious thought. That's a part that's considered autopilot and drives about 98% of our thoughts and behavior. Here is the tricky part. From zero, birth, to 7 years old, 98% of your thoughts are programmed by the time you are 7 years old. So when people say that childhood is critical for development, they're not joking. Literally, if you look at the entire universe, and you can go, Tracy, this is crazy, because we are all serious, successful adults doing our thing. At the end of the day, we are the same individual that we were when we were younger, but we're just operating as adults. So let's step back. You come into the world and your main caregivers are your parents usually, whether you have both parents, different situations, we all have different upbringings. But let's say you have two parents and siblings, and let's say grandparents and cousins, your immediate family, and then your extended family. You spend your most formative years with the people that created you. So for many of us, hopefully we had great parents and they were good examples of what being a good person is, of motivation, of a good marriage. But you know what? A lot of people didn't have that in parents. We can't really select our parents. We're born into this world and here we are. We show up, we have the parents we have, and we're born into the situation we're born into. So let's say you have amazing parents. Let's go with that. They have plenty of money, they have a healthy marriage, they're emotionally intelligent, they're thoughtful, they're nurturing, sky's the limit, they're supportive. If you're born to those people, chances are you're gonna grow up believing the world is your oyster, sky is the limit. You'll have the confidence from supportive parents to go out and chase your dreams. Sky is the limit. Now let's go to the very polar opposite. Let's say you're born in the ghetto and you're born into extreme poverty and abuse of all kinds and drugs and liquor. Your parents that you were born to are going to be your main example. So you're going to grow up 0 to 7 in a dysfunctional household with probably anger, abuse, drugs, liquor, all kinds of probably not so great things. I'm going to guess that your parents aren't very emotionally supportive and they probably don't believe that the world is your oyster. They probably believe that your life is going to be very similar to theirs. And that's your lot. And that's really all that you can accomplish because that's who you guys are. Very different life, right? So then go to the middle. Hopefully, majority of us are somewhere in the middle and have had a decent upbringing. But the moral of this story is your brain, as it sits, you right there, unless you've done a ton of personal development, therapy, and you've become very emotionally intelligent, people aren't going to like to hear this. But your operating system that you are operating with, this is operating system, thoughts and beliefs about who you are, the world you live in, and your potential. Your operating system is default, and it comes from your parents. So you or your thoughts really aren't your own. And that's the scary part. And most people don't realize that. We're adults operating from the thoughts and beliefs of our parents. And here's the most tragic part. We aren't our parents. Our destiny is not their results of their life. So if they were alcoholics or abusive or amazing or an accountant, we always tend to model what we see growing up because that's our example. So when we're modeling what we see, we're repeating. Isn't that dangerous? So ideally, in a perfect world, I hope you guys are following me. It sounds like just so easy when I'm saying it, but kid you not, majority of the people are operating from their original operating system that was programmed by their parents, siblings, grandparents, and local community. So let's go back there. You are probably playing out the thoughts and beliefs and dysfunction of your parents. I've caught different things at different times. And here's the most ironic part. Their thoughts and beliefs were right for them in the time that your parents were doing and being how they were being. It was probably not right for the world. If they were poor, at the same time, there was middle class and rich people. So that's not the reality for everybody. So they were living their version of reality. Now, even worse, because we tend to model who created us and raised us and taught us our values and our potential. Add insult to the wound, their reality was their reality. And now, if we haven't upgraded our operating system and reviewed those limiting thoughts and beliefs and really tuned into our own interests and personal potential, we're playing out their life. And when I realized that, I realized how incredibly dangerous it is in the fact that our most important programming comes from 0 to 7 years old. And not only that, I'm 42 years old. When I was 7, that was quite some time ago. So if I am still living the thoughts and beliefs that my parents taught me in 0 to 7, that's 30 plus years outdated, and it's their knowledge. So not only do we operate from old, outdated software up here from our childhood, which is delayed and just totally biased to who our parents were, not only that, we're totally out to lunch. We live in 2024. So if there are people watching this that think success is hard, making money is hard, there's your number one sign that you are living out old, outdated beliefs. Because truthfully, making money is simple. It's not easy, but now more than ever, there is so much opportunity with the internet and cheap, if not free, tools to launch and grow a business from next to nothing. If you still think that making money, being successful, and owning your time in your life is hard, you're operating on 1980 software, just like I was. And I had a prime example. My grandparents were farmers. And then my parents didn't farm, and I farm now as well, and have my media companies and all my investments. But I had a really mind-blowing opening moment. I sat down with my grandpa. He's passed away quite a few years now, I think about 5-6 years. And he started farming in very bad times. You couldn't get a loan. You were literally breaking the land for the first time, like pioneering. And the fact that he couldn't go out and get a loan to buy animals, he was telling me this story at the kitchen table, coffee, beautiful farm family moment. He was telling me about the first time he went to try and get a loan and how the bank refused him. And I was sitting there as 2 generations later who just got a huge loan for cattle that would dramatically grow our business and our income. Easy, like that. So there are farmers that still think farming is like it was in my grandpa's generation or my parents' generation. But the fact is, it's not the same. Credit is so easy, good and bad compared to what it was when my parents were around in the 80s when interest rates were huge and when my grandparents were farming. And credit for my great-grandparents didn't exist if it hardly existed for my grandparents. So think of that. If you think success is hard, if you think making money is hard, if you think your life is the extent of what your parents and your grandparents accomplished, you need to upgrade this. And it's funny, here's a great analogy. Your iPhone. How many different apps do you put on it? How many times does Apple bug you about upgrading it? They're constantly upgrading it. So it has the best version that works the fastest, that's optimized, running on the most recent information. But yet, a lot of us go to school to grade 12 and then go work, and that's fine. That's a whole nother video series. Some of us go to post-secondary education, and if we do that, a lot of us stop learning there. And that's where it begins. And literally at that, I think university gets you in the door. The best learning happens on job and in your spare time. So if you aren't living the life of your dreams, yes, it's probably your parents' fault. We can finally blame our parents for something. I'll give you that. But now that you've heard this, and if you've watched to the end, it is no longer your parents' fault. If you're an adult, you have that adult card, this operating system belongs to you. Ugh, personal responsibility. But here's the thing. If you know you are 100% in charge of your results, that means nobody else can stop you. Not your grandparents, not your parents, not the community you grew up in, not your color, not your gender, not your disability, not your short, tallness, skinny, overweight. Nothing can stop you. It's an operating system. So just like your Apple phone or Samsung, whatever you use to watch this, you can upgrade, put new apps on. So what are the apps? Courses, YouTube, different apps to help you learn and function more. So put an app in there, put a course, learn about business, learn about making money, upgrade your whole system instead of spending all your time running Netflix and taking all your bandwidth and distracting you and numbing out by being entertained or drinking and drugs, whatever it is. You have full personal power over this operating system. That there is a lot of responsibility. And that's why you see a lot of people blaming their parents, because it's easier than looking in the mirror and going, oh, it's on me now. It's an operating system issue, a mindset issue. And the more you upgrade this, the more you're going to update your life. You're not going to see it immediately because everything is a leading and a lag. You're going to start getting smarter, and then you're going to act a little bit different. You're going to get a raise because you're a little more keener. Then you're going to go to a different job, a little more keen, sorry. Then you're going to go to a different job. You're going to watch YouTube's videos on how to create websites. Then you're going to start doing that. And then you're going to put a freelance gig and you're going to get extra income. And then you're just going to snowball. So every time you upgrade this operating system and put new apps, new knowledge, you improve your life. And then it goes through a cycle. And when you improve your life and bring more value to the world, you start to get paid more. You get paid more, you live better. You create a better life for yourself, your spouse, your kids, your future grandchildren. It's just a beautiful cycle when you go, okay, who I am is because of my parents, but I'm just going to update that operating system to 2024 and really take advantage of the tools and information that's out there for everybody, literally for free. So I encourage you, if you think it's your parents' fault, go, okay, they got me this far. I'm probably running on their operating system. Let's delete that and do an Apple upgrade. And let's start running the latest and greatest operating system and apps and taking personal responsibility and realizing if I'm the only one that affects my results, there's no one that can stop me other than me. And when you let that sink in, your life will change. And remind yourself, and your life will change again. Literally, you are responsible and totally empowered to change your life and build the life of your dreams. I believe in you, and you should too. I hope this provided value. This was some game-changing material. And I guarantee if everybody in the world watched this, not that this is like my information or, well, it is game-changing. If everybody in the world watched this, realized they were operating from so many distractions and old system, this world would change overnight. People would be happy, healthy, and wealthy, living the life of their dreams. And don't we all want that? Yes, we do. See you next time.